Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Gratitude Keep It Real. We are in an interesting point because we are heartened by a lot of positive responses in the first episode. So we wanted to continue this ball rolling, to continue to invite a lot of our esteemed alumni to continue to share for this for alumni by alumni initiative. So this round, as you have seen in the EDMs, we have three wonderful speakers. So in this episode, we invite this esteemed alumni to share on the topic of building mental strength in a time of COVID. So let's welcome our three esteemed speakers, three esteemed alumni. Right, great. So okay, let me just do a short introduction of our three alumni. First, we have Abigail over. She was the president of Pharmaceutica IG and is currently a pharmacy technician with KKH, Children's Emergency Pharmacy, and is the staff in charge of the continuing education program for other pharmacy technicians. Amazing. Then we have also Dr. Kenneth Gui, who, upon graduation from RP, entered the NUS Yonglulin School of Medicine after graduating from RP. So he was also featured a few times. One of it was in Straits Times together with Noor for the article titled "Polytechnic Duo in Line to Become Doctors," and he have he is now a doctor. So congratulations. He is working now, dabbling within Ng Teng Fong Hospital and recently in Kotek Port Hospital. And, last but of course not least, we have Nelma, who upon graduation joined the Raffles Medical Group as a pharmacy technician. And building upon this idea of continuous learning, she enrolled in a part-time specialized diploma in clinical diagnostic and infectious disease. With that, she's currently working in the National Healthcare Group Polyclinics supporting pharmacy operations. So this is our three speakers, and they will be sharing with you, I think, a lot of insights, and hopefully we can all benefit from this sharing. So for those who are following us on YouTube, you may actually ask questions live, and towards the end of the session, about 30 minutes or so, we will address those questions. So do feel free to fill in any Q&As if you have. Okay. Let's start with a bit of opening questions. So each of you, maybe we can start with Abigail. So okay, like you have been in the industry for a while. So what are the opportunities there are in the industry?
At the moment, for pharmacy technicians, we are moving towards career expansions. So it's quite exciting right now because there's really a lot to learn in terms of automation. So several hospitals have actually came out with automation, even my KK hospital including. So automation, we have machines that help us pack the medications. So it helps to reduce certain errors and it helps to increase our efficiency.
Okay, that's good. So for Dr. Kenneth, for you, you have been in a bit of transitions recently. So what is the local medical scene right now, and before currently in COVID? Yeah.
I mean, because of COVID right now, we have increased influx of patients in the hospital. Because sometimes we just need to be over careful. We need to rule out the virus. Yeah. So as for now, we are still in the wartime period. So where we are against war against COVID, right? So every day is N95 for me. Full PPE on when I see patients. So definitely, it will get a bit of time to get used to, because the PPE and N95 by themselves, they look very benign, but when you wear it for long periods of time, you start to experience fatigue, and as well as patients, sometimes when they're isolated in the COVID suspected ward, the family can't visit them, and this can cause increased stress, so we all have to adapt to the new norm, not just doctors. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think it's we are supporting as much the frontliners as we can. Although you all are facing the front lines much more than a lot of us. So that is great. Okay, now to Nelma, what is the for you the working qualifications working conditions and like being in this industry for a bit, like you took this upgrade in studying, like what do the qualifications do we need?
Well, to be a pharmacy technician, I took the diploma route and I became a pharmacy technician. But however, at different companies, they have different requirements. So when I joined National Healthcare Group, I had to do a competency test. And after the competency test was done, I get to be certified as a pharmacy technician as well. Yeah. And definitely I took up the course because I was working with doctors who specialize in infectious disease, and I wanted to understand those patients more and also understand them clinically, and it has definitely widened my knowledge and also widened the job scopes that I could do. So I could work in a lab as well. I know how to run samples. Yeah, those are just small little things that the diploma has helped me with.
Okay, that's great. I think building on that, just ask you again, like we are jumping now to the topic of mental strength in this time of COVID. It is a challenging time for a lot of us. Do you have like maybe on a personal basis or even at work tips about mental health and the stigmas and presumptions about how do we deal with this and even coping with this new normal mentally?
A lot of them, actually a few days back, I did a poll amongst my friends to ask them to actually understand more about mental stigma. And I could just share a few. So someone talked to me about having suicidal thought means you do not have faith in God, and then I went to do a bit more research on on the topic that she told me about, and it actually shows that having faith actually helps to improve mental health. Yeah. And it is with like a combination therapy of medications and other medical interventions that faith helps along. So I think one should never think they do not have faith in God just because they have mental illnesses. Yeah, this is just one social stigma that that was shared to me. And another one is a lot of them are afraid of getting help. They do not want to be judged by their friends. They do not want to be judged by family, most importantly. And strength comes from within. It's okay to ask for help because we all need the help at least once in our life. Yeah. And I feel that we should get as much help as we need to help us come out of any kind of situation that we are facing. Yeah. Those are just some thoughts.
Great. Yeah. Dr. Kenneth, do you have tips on how do we cope with this new normal?
So basically, right, recently, I think it's more relevant to Singaporeans because we recently have been looking into, the fatigue levels of our country, in terms of battling COVID. So there's a new term called COVID fatigue. Basically, the new norm is we all have to wear masks, right? We all have to stay 1 meter distancing. We have to limit ourselves at restaurants. So these are some of the new norms. And increasingly, friends, colleagues, we are all getting a bit tired of the extra measures used to control COVID. So that is why there's a new term called COVID fatigue. And this can be quite apparent in some, people. You see newspaper article where people just, take off their masks, And recently there was an article where a gentleman assaulted a bus captain because the bus captain asked him to put on a mask. So people are getting tired, So there has to be certain measures that we can do. So some of it includes, talking to your friends, getting a break at home. So at home, we don't advise for people to wear masks. So that's supposed to be like your break time. But when you're outside, you have for public health considerations, we always have to think about other people as well. So that's why we're still enforcing the rule, because technically we haven't won the battle yet. We haven't won the war yet. So yeah, so talking to your friends, taking some time to relax at home is a few of the measures. But I think talking to a professional like psychologist, can also be another viable way out. Yeah, and psychologists, they are not really, very they're not going to judge you, based on what you share with them. They are talking to you in a very professional capacity. So whatever stresses you have, they might suggest some strategy like meditation, which has been proven to reduce stress as well. So definitely, if we can discuss more about it, there are other measures that I can suggest to reduce and how to cope with the new norm. But I guess the key message to this is people need to understand that they're not in this battle alone. We are battling this virus together as one country, and maybe the whole world is together on battling this new virus. Yeah.
And do you have like simple tips about like how to check ourselves or close ones in terms of our state?
No, so actually, there are a few simple ways. So we always know ourselves best. So when you are getting tired. On some days you just feel like you don't want to wear the mask. Or you just feel like you need some social interaction. Then by all means, if you need a social interaction, like go out with friends, by all means do it. But there's the legal boundary that we need to keep within, like less than 5 per party. So there's a leeway to play with it, and the government has been increasingly getting more lenient with that. So as for recent latest news, they actually allow, like, if I'm not wrong, wedding banquet up to 100 people already. Yeah. So the things are looking up, and we need more time to slowly open up the measures, of course. And other things that I can suggest is that actually, when you have a deviation from your usual lifestyle, like you feel like normally you are a very outgoing person, and suddenly you feel like you just want to stay at home all day, that could be also a sign of, getting stressed out from the pandemic itself. So if you Google online, there's a lot of videos on this saying what are some signs that you can predict and then bring yourself to attention. But I will say that whenever you feel sad or you feel like doing something impulsive, such as hurting yourself, that is a medically no, and you should seek help immediately, in a A&E or towards any nearest doctor nearest to you. Yeah.
I think that's important because the companionship that is before COVID can be an asset. So when we are confined, limited to just our digital, so it can be really draining, I think. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Especially like most of our meetings, even talks like this where it should be in person interactive, is now online. And of course there are, it lacks the human touch. And I think innately all of us, desire that human touch. Whether it be towards our friends, our parents, and getting void of that human touch actually can make us mentally fatigued, I would say. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. For Abigail, do you have tips on it? How do we cope, and like maybe in your work capacity, these assumptions on mental health and mental illness in general?
Okay, so mental health has never been an easy topic for anyone. So I mean, like let's get real lah. It's even not easy for us to talk about it. So first cut, I guess if you have a close friend or family member to talk to, that would be the best. Just to talk to somebody, and nothing is too small or too trivial to talk about. So don't think like, yeah, why do I need to go and burden somebody about something that is so small and so insignificant? It's not, because if it's going to make you feel horrible or upset, it's not insignificant. It's your feelings. Second, if you really don't want to like burden someone, right, you can talk to a psychologist or even a mental health counselor. So they have, I think certain polyclinics even have such services that you can tap on. Yeah, so there's really no shame in all of it. this new norm is horrible. Okay, let's just put it out there. I don't like it. I'm a very outgoing person. I do solo trips and I have to cancel all my plans, and it's really horrible. So I really understand. But I think what helped me, other than talking with my friends, was picking up new hobbies. So you can, now that most people are working from home, studying from home, you inevitably have more time on your hands, kind of. So other than binging on Netflix, you can pick up a new hobby. So I picked up painting and I like it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think I have one here.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can do that. Some of my friends also picked up painting. Some people can pick up other hobbies like keeping a pet, for example. So you have that additional companionship. So I think that's good. Other than that, you can, so things that can make you feel like going back into your old routine, I guess, would be like such Zoom meetings with friends that you haven't seen in a long time, or you're not able to visit them. I suppose that would be the closest thing to going out lah.
I think it is. I mean, a lot of the recent festives, and it is the medium now to communicate.
Yeah, so slowly I guess we'll get used to all this online stuff, but still, going out with 5 or less friends, just to get that human touch, that feels good also.
Yeah, definitely. But moving to that, right, but now the digital age is here in that sense. We are really tapping on what it could be. How does it impact the medical industry and like the scene now? Is it you have to adapt to it, or?
I guess our generation has been quite adaptive to it because we really like it online to begin with. Grab food, Grab transport, Grab everything. Now there's GrabMart. You can even buy things from 7-Eleven on your phone. I think that's quite amazing. There has been initiatives that have been rolled out on the Health Buddy app and other apps online, where you can request for refills of medication, where you can do teleconsult with doctors. So I think certain specialties, they are being encouraged to do teleconsult with their patients so that they can limit the number of patients that come to the hospital. We also have patients who are requesting for more courier options, meaning we send medications to their house. So that's that. And also, those, like, when you buy Taobao or Shopee or Lazada and you want them to put it in one of those post lockers or something like that. Yeah, so we also have an initiative. It's called the Blue Pot and Pillbox, I think. Under SingPost, where you can put your medications there, but obviously there are certain criteria to fit lah. So not all medications can be posted to the lockers because of temperature, because of storage conditions, and among other things, breakable stuff or things that are too expensive. But there are a lot of initiatives where think technology has really come a long way to help us in terms of helping patients getting their medications and getting their consults online.
Yeah, that's great. And for Nema, is it the same for your job and the space of work?
I agree with Abigail. Digitalization has actually have a very positive impact, I would say, on healthcare, because I'm specializing in something called Convidose. So we actually pack medications for nursing homes in sachets, which means their medications get packed in like morning, afternoon, and night dose, even like crushables and non-crushables. So this makes it easier for nurses to serve the dose. And with technology, we are able to ensure the accuracy of the correct medication in the sachet itself. And actually, this service is also open to public. So we recently we had a lot of requests where people want help in terms of packing their medications in sachets, and technology has been a great help because, like Abigail said, we can actually mail it to the person's house. We could put it in those pill lockers that she mentioned. Yeah. So.
And that's, I think, the direct impact of digitalization at this point.
Yeah. I think overall also I've heard a lot of things about robotic surgeries and all that. And I think that is also a very good impact on healthcare because doctors get to be on a virtual screen and perform surgeries using robots. Yeah, which is interesting because in this COVID time, a lot of doctors, I'm just assuming a lot of doctors can't travel much as well. And if they need a specialty, they can always use technology to get the doctor transported to that area. Yeah, so
Dr. Kenneth, do you have anything to? How has it been for you? Yeah.
Okay, so basically, ideally it should work like what Nirmal said, but the reality is we are actually split into clean and dirty teams, right? So the clean teams of doctors will see the clean patients, like those who already have 2 swabs negative or do not have any COVID-19 symptoms. Those are kept by the clean doctors, and they have they don't have to be isolated. For me, I belong to the dirty team of doctors. So we basically anybody with COVID-19 symptoms or patch on chest X-ray, we keep them in the ward, and then we sort of like monitor their condition and also treat them medically at the same time. So while they're in the ward, what we do is we clear them with 2 swabs of COVID-19. And once they're done, then they will be de-isolated. So that's the reality of it. If a patient, let's say, needs surgery, so far robotic surgery, yes, is in the OT, but it's not that we can do surgery remotely because that is not common in Singapore yet. But we do have robots assisting us in surgery, and that's how far digitalization has allowed us to progress in that sense, because it allows us to have the patients will experience quicker healing times, and there's more precision with robotic instruments. But of course, there are times where the human hands are better at surgery. In terms of medicine, I mean, digitalization has helped us quite a lot in COVID-19 because a lot of patients are isolated and they can't have access to a family. So when you're sick, or your family member is sick and you can't go and see them, like how we used to in the normal times, then the next best thing we have is actually video chat, or Zoom. So that has helped us immensely because the family get worried. Even if doctors, we update them, family just want to see their family members. So it's definitely helping us a lot. And with the current digitalization of everything, including your check-in, check-out, temperature taking, and yes, make our contact tracing, our records much better. And this is also a key component why Singapore has managed the COVID-19 scene so well, because we are very high-tech people. But at the same time, on the other side, you have to think about the other people who are not used to the technological age, like the elderly. That's why we see increasingly, when COVID first started, a lot of elderly have trouble adapting because all these measures are on our phones, online. And they do not know how to use it, how to access it. That is a problem we have to address also going forward. Yeah. But so far, on our overall efforts as a nation, I would say it has been pretty positive. And so far, as you can tell by the recent numbers, we do have the situation under control, and we'll continue to do well in this aspect and try our best. But of course, if anything, we still need to keep up with the current measures.
Yeah. Never let our guard down in that sense.
Yeah, because we are just, about to win the battle. We need to, kill it. We are not supposed to give up now. Yeah. And as part of the front line, really the front line fighting the virus, I would say, don't let our efforts go to waste, because we put in a lot of hard work to get us to where we are now, and just a small mistake will just set us back so much. Imagine you have 100 people getting infected tomorrow. Oh, that's disastrous. You will erase us back to day 0 again. Right. Yeah. So yeah.
I think I can just answer one question that has came in. Someone asked about staying disciplined, either from working from home home-based learning, or I don't know, for your situations, if you have to go to on the ground more often, like maybe the question about how do you all stay disciplined, while working from which avenue you are at. Yeah.
I guess for those who are working from home and you need to get work done, I get it. I remember my school days where I literally need to lock my phone away in the safe and throw the key away. But I guess what I remember doing was setting a goal. So like, okay, I'm going to do this in 45 minutes. Put my phone away. I'm not going to touch my phone. And then after that, I can like watch like a 20-minute video or something, or eat a snack, or just do something that you like for like a while as a break. I think putting that motivation, dangling that carrot in front of you might help.
For the rest, how do you all maintain that discipline? I mean, a lot often look at the health sector, and we are a lot of us are amazed at how much you have to maintain in terms of discipline and the work aspect. Yeah.
I've not worked from home, but at work we do have a certain rules to follow. So it's definitely mask on all the time, temperature taking twice a day without fail. You need to set reminders to make sure that you submit your temperature on time. And actually at work, because I work with a huge group of people, I'm talking about 70 of them, we can't go out for lunch together. So we have designated seats at work for us to have lunch, which is good enough. And that's how we maintain the discipline at work. Yeah, to minimize social gathering as well. And I guess, like Abigail said, for those working at home, if you want to be more disciplined, I would suggest you create a work environment at home. Some place where you would feel really comfortable to be in for the 8 hours that you're working. Yeah, and do take breaks, regular breaks in between. I guess that should help. Kenna, what do you think?
I'm afraid I don't have much to contribute to the discussion because I don't have the chance to work from home, and I don't need to be disciplined because I'm forced to report to work every day. Not patients will be left uncared for. But being a student in RP, sometimes we have the freedom, to we always have the desire, in the morning, early morning, you are deciding, whether to go for class or not. I guess it's the same discipline that will help you through your work from home experience.
Yeah.
I guess the thing to think about is, how to stagger your time. I think for myself, being a doctor, everybody expects me to be a workaholic, but I tend to schedule, rest times more than the time that I've been working. And people think that actually that is wrong, but actually, if you think about it, it's really boils down to what kind of person you are. I'm motivated to do work if I have at least 15 minutes of rest, right? So by right, go all means, within an hour, maybe I work for 45 minutes and then I take a break for 15 minutes. Some people call it slacking, because this guy is only resting for 15 minutes and then working for 45 minutes. But if it gets work done, then why not, Because 15 minutes of rest to me, and after that, I get to do things more efficiently. I can finish work that's supposed to be done in 1 hour 30 minutes within 45 minutes. Why not? That 15 minutes is worth it, right? Yeah. And being a doctor, getting some rest time is very good because I'm dealing with a patient's medication. I'm dealing with their condition. One single mistake can lead to so much consequences. And so far, this discipline has kept with me since RP times. So every time I know myself, I need a 15-minute break and then a 45-minute work. That kind of schedule works for me. So I just keep to that. And so far it's worked pretty well. I mean, it brought me to medical school. It brought me to graduate as a doctor. So I think that's the advice I would give to anybody working from home.
Yeah. To really know yourself, and then the right diagnostic, and then get the right advice.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's one question that came in about room fatigue doing work from home. If you all have any experience, or if not, the general idea of fatigue, how do you all deal with it? Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
I guess for those working from home, like what Normal says, to really have like a designated work area and then have a designated rest area. So don't work on your bed. It's a bad idea. So yeah, I suppose segregation works so that your physically it takes your mind away, you know, like your mind look at, for example, if you have like a lounge chair or something and it's a legit like relaxed area, I think it tells your brain that okay, it's time for me to relax, to take a break. And then when you go to your work area, it sort of like motivates you to like, okay, I have to do work, this is where I have to focus and get all my stuff done. So I guess segregation might be a way to deal with fatigue and also really, really give yourself breaks. I think there was an article a few weeks ago about how now that people are working from home, they're actually putting in more hours than they had when they went to the office because they're already at home. Work is already brought into the house. So really, really must have the discipline, not just to do your work, but have the discipline to rest. You know, one day only has 24 hours. Work is never going to finish. So really, you really deserve that break, that time with your friends and your family, because everyone would just burn out if everyone does that. It's just not worth it.
But the fatigue is real, I think, when it hits you, I think. For you guys have managed to ever experience it, or somehow that discipline helps, I think. Like I'll be playing slow.
A bit lah.
The fatigue it's not just unique to work from home lah. Anybody who needs to go to work will feel fatigue. That's definite. So I think if it's working from home in such a unique context, what I can suggest is, you know, you of course you have a dedicated workplace and everything, but sometimes, you know, think about changing your environment. Like if you don't need Wi-Fi, if you're just doing something admin like keying things in an Excel sheet, try the garden, for example. But the weather has been, you know, quite crazy lately. It's been raining, then it's been super hot like today. You know, but find a good place. You know, it doesn't have to be at home. You can be in nature. You know, you can be close to some good scenery that you can look around for like 5 minutes and then continue with your work. As long as it works for you, you know, try to find ways. Now we are not restricting anybody to go out. You know, if you even want, you can even try doing your work on the MRT if you really crave that
the commute.
I mean that human touch, you know, because there's a lot of humans on the MRT, right? You won't be alone. Or you can go to RP, you know, there's always a good place for you to do that. So the thing is, you have to know yourself, and when you know you're fatigued, you know you're easily burnt out, because maybe last time you used to spend 30 minutes and you used to be so efficient, and now even like working for 5 minutes makes you so tired. Then you might want to think about taking a few days of leave. Honestly, just to take some R&R and then build your stamina back. Because this COVID is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We need to be prepared to fight this all the way until next year, or even 2 years later. As long as the vaccine is not out, this battle is not won, honestly. So this is a new norm we have to deal with, and each of us really have to bring up, you know, our best and our fighting spirit to find a lifestyle that suit us in the new normal. Because the new normal is not going to adapt to us. We need to adapt to the new normal. And going forward, there will be other terrible viruses. This COVID-19 is just, you know, the tip of the iceberg. And honestly, we are so lucky that it has not been so devastating. Yeah. So I guess, you know, the point is, whatever works for you, you know, just try to find it, your new normal, right? Yeah.
No, I was thinking, because based on that, about, you know, we all adapting. I think that the ones having it the toughest can be the elderly. So I mean, a lot of us, you know, with our parents and or in your capacity of work, you deal with elderly patients. Like, what are usually the advice you give to them when they are worried, when they, you know, they are uncertain about the future? Like, what do you give advice to them?
I guess I usually start especially with worried patients, right? Regardless of age, this is not something that is specific to any age group, but anyone who is worried, I think first and foremost, I would try to address their concerns and try to find out what exactly they're worried about. So I guess in this case of COVID and the elderly are a group of people who get lonely very, very easily because they miss companionship, because they miss all sorts of stuff. And some of them might feel like they are losing their strength because, you know, that's what happens when you grow older, and it's something that they have to deal with. And I don't think anybody really gets you ready for that. So I guess some of them really do miss having their friends to talk to and having people within their same age group and, you know, going through the same things. I think that's the biggest concern about having COVID and having them isolated and creating all sorts of mental health issues among the elderly. I don't know what we can do, but I guess there are some groups of people like Red Cross who have been visiting them, going door to door, bringing food. So I think that helps with a little bit of a human touch. I think there's also a group, but I don't remember who they are. I think they're doing phone calls to the elderly and talking to them on the phone, and just talking to them and really hearing them out. So I think that's a good start.
Yeah. So I think it all boils down to human touch. But I think one of the comments, Kaylin gave a good comment about, you know, the campus or the lawn in particular, you know, our famous lawn, it's not really open to the public yet. So maybe like how Dr. Kenneth was mentioning, you can return back to RP maybe a little while later. But find spots in the places where you can actually, I think you need to find your sweet spot, I think, to
I was just out a few days ago, actually. There's really not a lot of place to sit in public anymore. It's like they remove all the benches. So I can see that it's quite tough, but we really have to ride this through. It's like what Kendall said, it's really a marathon, and we have really worked really, really hard, all the frontliners, and everyone who has helped us this far has really worked really, really hard. And I think that we really need to give ourselves a pat on the back for getting this far. But finding a place to go out, I guess you can go to cafes, but from what I know, there are time limit now. There's time limit so that you don't hog the area.
I think that's, but I think it all boils down to the state that we're in. So I think as a wrap up, if there are any more questions, you can just put it in. But as a wrap up from I think each of you, how do you all maintain that the energy, at least the positive energy, like in your work, in your life, for each day? You know? What are the tips that you can share with us? Maybe Nelman, yeah.
All right, so I started this 2 months ago. So what I do is I share quotes or I share tips with lots of colorful pictures to a group of friends of mine on Instagram, and in the hope that it will make them happy and positive. And true enough, it really makes their day. And actually, I did that for a reason, because I wanted it to become a cycle. So I wanted them to do the same, not for me, but to do it and share this with the rest of their friends and family. And yeah, that's one thing I've done. So I just send positive quotes every morning to about 50 of them. And every week I try to increase by seeing who's on my contact list, and I just send them. And the good thing is, over the past, it took them a while to get used to all these things, and after a while they started sending me. And there are days where I send them late and they're like, Rimal, not today. I'm like, yes, it's coming, you know. And yeah, that's one way I do. And I also read a book, and the book said is this is what I do at work. So the book said, try walking into your office happily, joyfully, and greet everyone around you, because your vibe will vibrate around. So the happier you are, the people around you will also be cheerful. So you just go in the morning and you're like, hi, good morning, how are you? It makes someone's day. And trust me, that vibe, that good energy vibe, will last you for the next 6 hours at work. Yeah, despite the tough times now.
Beautiful. I think okay. Before I ask about how you, Dr. Kenneth and Abigail, how you maintain, but at the same time, while you get the positive energy, you might answer. So one of our listeners are asking, how do we maintain, or what advice you give to those who are still unemployed? So what can they do where they're stuck at home? I think it's How do you deal with it?
There are a lot of courses available. Skill future courses, also the ones with ACE in RP. If you're an RP graduate, go and check out ACE. I think they have a lot of new courses coming up. I would say take up any opportunity that comes your way, even if it's a short-term internship. It's really tough. I understand that the job market is really tough right now, but just have an open mind and accept whatever that comes your way and try adapting for the time being and see how you can build up and move on to the career that you want, I would say.
Yeah, I think like what Nawal said, I think there's a lot of platform online that is giving out courses, be it's free or you have to pay a small fee. I think a few months back I did this EDX. They have all sorts of courses from a lot of universities from around the world. And I think if you are unemployed and you don't see yourself getting a job soon because of the job market, I think just take up something that you never thought that you do, like a language or science or technology, something that you can just learn about. I think that would help take your mind off COVID a little bit as well. I'm going to take this opportunity. The hospitals are hiring for pharmacy technicians. Please, anyone with a diploma in pharmacy, pharm science, please come and apply to us. We need you guys. We do. We're drowning.
And we need each other, right? So so how do you then so the positiveness in your daily, how do you maintain that?
I think it's not easy. It really isn't. I tend to be the one checking in on my friends, asking them how they are and if they're coping well. Sometimes they ask me back, and it's fine. I sometimes, like on my off days, I just don't do anything at all. Nothing. I'm a very active person. I cannot don't move. But the thing is, I also find that the more I do, the more I overwhelm myself, which is not ideal. And I get really, really tired. So I know myself. So before I reach that point, I just have an off day where I completely don't do anything. I either lay in bed. Of course, I get up lah. I make breakfast. I eat my food. But I binge Netflix or I do something completely mind-numbing, just like painting. It takes up so much time. Yeah, so like if you don't have an idea of what to paint, you can copy so that you can just follow someone else's drawing instead of coming up with something on your own. It really gives time for your brain to rest and just switch off. I think that's what you have to do. I just switch off. And then when I'm done with that, when I'm recharged, I'm good. Yeah, and also connecting with friends. So yeah, that's me. That's for me.
To do nothing is actually to do something. So it's beautiful.
That's true.
So, okay, maybe Dr. Kenneth, you wrap up with this energy. So you like you mentioned, you have not experienced work from home really. Yeah. So how do you maintain it? That energy of yours. Yeah.
So basically, I think for me, I have been quite lucky. I mean, my job is a doctor, so that actually helps to contribute some of my energy because every day I go to work, I only have one goal, which is to help my patients, right? So somehow I can't explain it, but when you help somebody out, like my patients or anybody else in need, the energy just comes to you naturally. You don't really have to force it out of you, and you just feel good. There's no way I can explain this, but when a patient, or say I mean I've been seeing COVID positive patients, when times were very bad from the start, and some of them were foreign workers. So when I had to work inside their room and break the news to them. Even the toughest, strongest foreign worker can break down, because they're so scared of the virus. And when you sit down, talk to them. Of course, this is with me with the N95, full PPE on, and you spend some time assuring them that everything will be all right, and you see the smile on their faces. I think that actually brought me through the whole day. And the good thing is also, I think for myself, I think I'm a very funny person. So basically my whole ward, whenever I round my patients, I would probably joke with them, in the morning, something like that. And that will keep things quite lighthearted, And that's what we really need in these tough times. Not to be, so there's a lot of, when COVID first broke up, there's a lot of articles, people saying, hey, this guy not wearing mask, this guy not wearing mask. Oh, then, there's a lot of malicious online comments, and all that. I mean, to each his own, but to be honest, yes, they broke the rules, and the authorities should look into it. But at the same time, as a society, what kind of people do we want to be, pinpointing at everybody's mistake? Or do you want to just leave it to the professional to handle it? Let's say the police. We don't need to, go and be our own vigilante, And I guess, back to the point of helping people, the current job market is not very good right now. And if you're considering, something that you want to fill up your time with, volunteer work can be a wonderful opportunity. It might not contribute to your job resume directly per se. But, when employers, like if I'm an employer and I ask my future employee and I ask them what did they do during COVID-19, and if they tell me they did volunteer work and for whatever reason they can use to justify, maybe they had the time to, or they want to contribute back to society, it brings a good impression. It may not help now securing a job, and it may not help financially, but volunteer work is definitely something that can help, Another advice that I can give is, take this time, to go back to school. It doesn't have to be an online course. You can enroll in another diploma, maybe something that you really wanted to do from the start. Let's say I enrolled in biomedical science, but my true passion is, say, pharmaceutical science, for example.
Yeah.
Then I might explore that, or I might get a degree. There's so many opportunities out there for us, right? We just have to look for it, and then we really should use this time, this free time, right, to think about what we want in life. Because at 20 plus, right, 20 plus, they expect us to choose a specialty, like I want to do medicine, I want to do biomedical science. But life is dynamic, things change. My interest now may be a doctor, but maybe in the future, I don't know, I might want to be something else, like a pilot. So things change. We should never keep things too stiff. So even if you have a diploma in biomedical science, pharmaceutical science, this is an excellent time for you to upskill your skills, upskill your range of knowledge, so that in future, once this passes, you can actually be more employable and you can command a higher salary. That's what a lot of successful people do. They usually never give up. They keep on climbing and climbing, and that is the grit that all of us need to have, and that's the grit that Singaporeans should have, because from our independence days, we have come through very tough days. Yeah. So that's what I feel about the current situation. Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful wrap up. I think if one thing I can highlight is when we help others, we are helping ourselves more than anything. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope those who have joined us live benefited from this. As you can see, you can like our Facebook page and volunteer, as you mentioned. You can even volunteer, give back to RP. There are schemes that you can give back. So you can find the link over in our live chat. And for those like how Nirmal mentioned, you can sign up with a lot of courses. When you are an alumni, you benefited with complimentary enrollment to your first 3 Skill Futures courses. So it's beautiful when you can upgrade and you can learn. And at the same time, do not make use of this opportunity to actually grow and to help each other. Yeah. So with that, I think we have come to the end of this episode. Thank thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of contributing, and for giving your heart and time to share with us. Thank you so much. And for those who are here with us, I hope you continue to support us, and hopefully the episodes that are in store for us in the future. So with that, thank you and have a good evening, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Fauzi.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.